Bushwhacks were some of the worst days I've ever had in the mountains, or life, really.
Whereas Panther Mountain is totally opposite. It's a mountain on top of a crater.
I think the weather challenges on this incident were particularly difficult.
It was really the development of New York State. Catskills were responsible.
Now you're listening to Inside the Line, the Catskill Mountains podcast.
All right, so welcome to episode 199. Tonight we have a listener spotlight. Tonight, Lisa Morales. Did I say it right? Once again, these last names like stump me.
Yeah, you said it right.
Nice. So Lisa Morales, aka Choaticquixotic, from the Instagram stories are all over the place, joins us tonight. Talk about her experience in the Catskill 3500, her quest to do the Adirondack 46, backpacking. We got a whole boatload of stuff to talk about. So welcome to the show, Lisa. Glad you could join us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Let's have a fantastic time. So let's start this off with a fantastic time. So thank you to everybody who has donated to the show, our monthly donors and our monthly sponsors. Really appreciate it today. Well, a couple of days ago, made a donation from the podcast to the Forest Ranger Foundation of $500. So that's awesome.
What was that? I didn't get that again. Just repeat it.
$500 went to the Forest Ranger Foundation.
Awesome.
And then my company matched it.
Oh, really? Wow. That's impressive.
So it's $1,000 went to the Forest Ranger Foundation.
And is this where we ask Lisa to match that?
Lisa, are you matching that?
Sure, why not?
Sure. Let's.
Awesome.
So
$2,000 to the Forest Ranger Foundation. You heard it first on Inside the Line. Thanks to Lisa.
Yeah. So once again, thank you everybody once again who supported the show. It goes a long way. And like I've always said, I don't do this for profit. I don't do this for being cool. I do this for my love of the Catskills, and I like to give back to the Catskills, and that's what this podcast is doing. So once again, thank you to everybody who has donated to the show, and hopefully today, maybe by the end of the day, I'll make another donation for Giving Tuesday. I gotta reach out. I wasn't available today, so I will see. So speaking of that, today is Tuesday. We had a snowstorm today. Snowstorm, let's quotation marks. Here up in the upstate region and stuff like that, in the Catskills and stuff. Up where I live, the prediction was 4 to 8. In the Catskills, it was 6 to 12. Reports have been out somewhat. I've read stuff online and stuff. I here got just under 5 inches up in Oneonta. Bel Air, I read that they wrote they had 4 inches, and then every other ski report, like ski area, said they didn't have any. And I heard another source, I think it was Ski New York or something, said that Windham had 4 inches. But then every other place that I see, everybody's reporting in the towns like Shandaken, Big Indian, stuff like that, says 4 to 7 inches. So in the towns, that's in the valleys. So expect more higher up. And, the ski cams look great. I heard some people are getting out into the trails already today. So I saw one of my friends was skiing up on Bel Air, and he said the snow was a little moist and the turns were tough, but that's okay. And he had a good time. But Tad, snowshoes, I would have to say bring them, because 6 to 8 inches is snowshoes breaking trail.
Yeah, even though it's a heavy snow, you can see snow drifting, and that's where you're really going to need the snowshoes. Sometimes when you're trying to go uphill, and the face of the mountain that you're going up is a face that had the wind blowing into it, which is going to generate a lot of drifting on the way up, you're really going to need those snowshoes for traction. So have them on board unless there's a big thaw between now and when you go hiking. That's my sentiment.
And I haven't heard of a big thaw.
Yeah, I heard there's a big freeze coming and more snow.
Okay.
Lisa, that's where you're supposed to smile.
You can't hear that on the audio.
Oh, that's all right. I'll give the narration of the visuals. Right.
Yes. Okay. I was going to say, are you, Lisa, are you like a good winter hiker? Do you like winter hiking?
I do, but I feel like the first 2 winters was kind of more ice. I haven't really snowshoed that much. I've only gone like twice. So I'm like kind of excited to do more of that. I wanted to last winter, but the whole wrist thing kind of threw a wrench in that plan.
Yeah. Well, we got to change that and make it your comfort zone to go out with snow on the ground, winter conditions, and experience the joy of winter hiking in the Catskills.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Hopefully maybe I can go on Thursday. Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be trail breaking. You're probably going to be one of the first out there. Do you have any plans of where you're going to go?
Not sure yet. I'm going to have to explore some options, but
yeah,
I've never broken trail before, so I'm excited to see how much that's going to suck.
So it's a state of mind.
It is. Under a foot is not bad. Anything like a 1.5 feet, 2 feet, you're suffering. But I mean, the more people, the better. I would say. But still, there's no other, especially in the Catskills, when it's just goddamn winter wonderland, and there's nothing that can.
So if you want to go out and use your snowshoes, but not have to break trail, where do you go in the Catskills? Giant ledge, right? There's
Huckleberry Point.
Yeah, but you're not going to be bagging peaks then, right? You might find people. I would go if I wanted to just take somebody out and give them, some guidance on snowshoeing. I would do Giant Ledge. Second choice would be I'd do Hunter from the end of Spruceton Road, right? Because you're going to get a lot of trail traffic going up there, and depending on how they do, you can bang out a few mountains, maybe Westkill if they're more experienced or adept at it. But if you have some reservations about going out breaking trail your first time with snowshoes, you're solo hiking, go to Giant Ledge.
True.
And the best part of doing Giant Ledge, when there's a lot of snow on the ground, it's going to pack in over all those rocks. It's going to be like going up on a sidewalk, smooth it right out.
But Giant Ledge is also post hole shit show.
Well, but if you have your snowshoes on, it won't be that bad. The post hole shit show is really the true shit show of shit shows when it thaws and then refreezes, and now those post holes are like in cement, frozen snow, right. and that can be a pain.
Correct.
So you have to watch out for that. But I bet you in 3 to 4 months from now, Lisa is going to be a pro snowshoer, winter hiker, and come April of 2026, she's going to be looking forward to next winter with a big grin.
I mean, that's the goal, right? I want to finish my winter patch this year for sure. So definitely going to get out there.
Excellent.
Probably beat me to the winter patch.
You don't have yours yet?
No.
Nobody's supposed to know.
I know. Well, I've hiked, I've taken so many people on so many snowshoeing stuff of Panther and Slide and Blackhead, all the repeat stuff that I haven't gone after my winter. So, and I've bushwhacked up freaking crazy steep terrain in the winter and stuff like that. But I just haven't completed it yet. I'm getting there.
Yeah. Stosh, I don't think is motivated by checking boxes on a list.
Fair enough. You still enjoy the winter. That's what counts.
Not anymore. I used to be, but I mean.
Well, I think this winter, you and we need to finish your winter list.
Hell yeah. We all need to.
You need to advance to the next
We need to
grade.
have an 800-person social hike where we're just freaking
800. I think the DEC limits it to what, 13, 18, something like that.
I think it's 12.
12?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Regulations.
I think I'm not quite sure on that, but don't quote me on that, but look it up. So speaking of the DEC, let's jump on to the next topic of hiker rescued from Ampersand Mountain in the Adirondacks. So this has to do with, once again, I mean, it's not negligence and stuff, but on November 21st at 5:10 p.m., Raybrook Dispatch received a call from a hiker with an unstable ankle injury on the summit of Ampersand Mountain, which has a beautiful fire tower. Forest Ranger Adams spoke to the subject over the phone, and the hiker was not wearing any traction device. Okay, so my bad. It is negligence, and fell on an icy section of the trail. At 6:50 p.m., rangers reached him. So we have an hour and 40 minutes from Tupper Lake. He was from Tupper Lake, splinted the injured ankle, and provided pain medication and warm liquids, and used a hypothermic wrap. 9 rangers used a sled to transport the patient to the trailhead. A family member drove the hiker to the hospital, and the resources were clear at 12 a.m. Sorry about that. So once again, negligence, didn't use traction. Up in the Adirondacks on November, they had, I'm not sure of I'm pretty sure they had 6+ inches of snow up there. I know at that time because they got the snowstorm that hit Vermont and New Hampshire. So once again, I do not understand with the shit that I have right in front of me, this big laptop, my cell phone and stuff, how people don't get information of how to hike in the winter. That ice could ruin your freaking life.
Yeah. So let's ask Lisa. Do you have micro spikes?
Oh, of course. I know the danger of ice, like firsthand for sure. So.
And how'd you learn about micro spikes? I mean, what brought you to the realization that you need to buy these things to go hiking in the winter?
I was given my first pair. I started hiking with my last ex. We did all the 3,500 requirements together. So he did a lot of the planning and gear work.
Gotcha.
So I was lucky. I just had someone to teach me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of people learn. I know I give pointers to a lot of people. I'll see some people that post a picture on Instagram, and I'll pick up something, and I try to gently suggest to them a better way of doing what they're doing. But this is interesting that this fellow, 54 years old, up near Tupper Lake, I mean, that's further north. It's colder, more wintry up there, doesn't have traction gear with him. And the real problem that a lot of people don't realize is you might be able to make it uphill very far without traction gear on the one hand. It's coming down that becomes the real problem if you don't have the right traction gear. So,
yeah. And then, with an ankle injury, you have to put pressure on your ankle, your leg, and stuff like that. That causes more pain. So, you try to get yourself out of there. You try to vacate the area. But unfortunately, an ankle injury is really serious.
Yeah.
So you can't try using one leg going down a hill in the summer. And then don't try it in the winter because you're going to obviously fail. But it's a pain in the ass in the summer to try to go down one-legged with even freaking hiking poles and stuff. It's just impossible. And then they had a video. I'll attach the video on there of them it's almost like they're sled dogs bringing them down the mountain. It was actually really funny. They're
they had them in a sled coming down like they use on ski slopes. I'm watching it now.
They were just sledding them down the mountain. I was just I understand. You know what? The patient has to get down from there, and you know what? You try to make them as comfortable as possible, but shit's gonna happen.
Yeah, somebody wants to get carried out in the sled.
So once again, get those traction. Traction is needed now. Now we need snowshoes. So another thing I wanted to bring up. This is a little messed up because it happened a little while ago, and then now we're starting to hear some more information come out about this, is in Utah on October 11th, 2025, this one guy who took Mika Smith took his children up in Utah on a hike, 2, 8, and 4 years old, on Broads Fork Trail in Big Cottonwood Canyon. The trail was described as strenuous with over 2,100 feet of gain, and they say the prosecutor says that it is inappropriate for children of some ages. So now he is being brought with what he did. He's being brought to charges because they never returned, and the next day search and rescue crews found them. All 4 were alive but in dire strait. 2 younger children, the 2 and 4-year-old, were found mostly exposed on a boulder shelter with minimal clothing, suffering from hypothermia, and apparently unconscious. The 4-year-old required 25 minutes of CPR on the route to the hospital and had a body temperature of just 62.6 degrees Fahrenheit when paramedics arrived. He later suffered a stroke and underwent emergency surgery. Part of his skull was removed. As of the latest reports, he still remains hospitalized. Now, investigators highlight that Smith ignored repeated pleas from his wife and his children to turn back when conditions deteriorated, or at least to reassess the hike's possibility that it is a strenuous hike. And instead, he reportedly pressed on, downplaying the danger, allegedly saying to his daughter that it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and even telling her that you shall not pass, which is a good Lord of the Rings reference, when she tried to convince him to stop. So authorities now view this as reckless and extremely selfish behavior, charging him with 3 counts of aggravated child abuse and 3 counts of first-degree child torture, all felonies that could carry very severe penalties. Now, as we've talked about this in the past, Tad, I mean, this is not like leaving the group and stuff like that, but kind of not sensing what the group is feeling and then being like, hey, we need to bag this peak. This is what I feel that this dad do. I wouldn't even call him a dad. I'd call him a shithead that did this. And it's just, it kind of hits us deep because once again, you, me, Lisa, we see people on the trail. We know that, we know that they're deteriorating. They're, they're not having a good time. So, with us, we reach out to them and be like, how you doing, man? How's the hike going? They might need some water, they might need some electrolytes, so they need something to eat, get their energy back up. But this guy had kind of no clue and just let them to shit. 2, 4, and 8 years old, and you weren't getting signs that they weren't having a good time. Like, you're like, hey, it's a once in a lifetime thing. Let's do it. And it just hits bad. So once again, this guy is facing 3 counts of child abuse, 3 counts of first degree child torture, and good. Let's get this thing going to trial and let's get him prosecuted and down. Right?
Yeah. Well, this is one of these things where it's really hard for me to know where to dive into it, because having raised 2 daughters and doing it in a manner where every weekend entailed some level of adventure activity, I just find this really hard to explain. I took my job of raising children very seriously and would really think through things almost to a fault, it seemed. And wow, I really feel for the kids. I mean, I want to think that the father had some mental explanation for this, and it wasn't his normal thinking process that brought this about, but I just don't know that. But what I do know is that this was an exceedingly traumatic experience for these 3 children. And when you read the accounts that they give, you really feel for them, and it's presumably something that's going to impact them for a really, really long time, their memories of this event and what would seem to be the inattention and callousness of their father. So, yeah, this is a hard story for me to make any jocular comments about. But I will. It's somewhat ironic, I think, that of all mugs I chose, I didn't know this was on there, but of all mugs I chose to bring in, do you see what it says?
No, I don't. You have it right up to the thing. Yes, this guy is one awesome dad. Did you buy that for yourself?
No, my daughter bought it for me. So, because I told her to. No, I mean, she didn't tell her to buy it for me. But no, I think my kids are, appreciative of what I did and the thought I put into being a parent. And then you look at these 3 children at such young ages. It's really a shame.
Yeah, 2 of them almost died. All 3 of them actually.
Yeah. So we hope that over the coming weeks and months that these children, recover as much as can be expected from this, and are able to move on. But Lisa, we don't want to dominate the conversation. You got anything you want to chime in with?
Yeah, just that guy should, suffer all the consequences they can get him with. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could do that to anyone, let alone your own children. Horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Definitely. It's just we'll see. We'll keep you updated like we did with the that one guy.
I just have one final comment. Let's just compare and contrast this to who we had on last week, Diana, and the planning and preparation and precautionary measures she takes when she brings her dog hiking. Okay. And I want to say, and I'm going to say, it sounds like she is more thoughtful and takes better care of her dog than this guy did of his children.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kudos to Diana. Good job.
Yeah. And anyone else who hikes with the dog and takes care of their dog, or children and takes care of their children. But yeah.
Apparently there needs to be a podcast out there in Utah where they have somebody interviewing a dad that's just like that preparation for kids hiking. Like good Lord.
I could do that. I still have my kids' backpacks in the house.
Okay. All right. Not here, but in Utah. Like we're fine out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's bad parents everywhere, but all right, let's move on. We're boring Lisa now.
Yes, she's getting bored. Lisa, how many shots have you done already? It's like 4?
I don't even drink.
Oh, well, never mind then. I've done like 5 because I just can't. I get sick and tired of Tad.
I've taken a lot of ibuprofen. I'm feeling kind of sick today, actually.
Oh,
really?
no. What's wrong?
I just like a sore throat
Okay.
and like kind of fatigued, but
Good.
it's all right. Snow day anyway, you know.
Exactly. So that's good. Well, hopefully you feel better. And one thing, hopefully, yeah, I've kind of screwed that. So thank you to the monthly supporters, Bob McLean, Chris Kirby, and Jeff Jotz, Vicky Ferrer, Mikey S., John Comiskey, Summit Seekers, Desert City Radio, Betsy A., Denise W., Vanessa, Jim C., and Eric. Once again, thank you guys so much for supporting the show. This is really amazing. And I really appreciate it. Once again, your money went to the Forest Ranger Foundation for an amazing donation. And I'd like to thank the amazing sponsors of the show. So Camp Catskill. Discover Camp Catskill in Tannersville, your ultimate hiking store. Find top quality gear, apparel, and accessories for all your outdoor adventures. The expert staff is to hear and help every hiker from beginners to seasoned pros. We also carry a variety of unique Catskill souvenirs and gifts. Visit us online at campcatskill.co or in the store for your next journey. Adventure starts at Camp Catskill. Right, so I am missing one of these. Holy crap, this is really embarrassing.
You're leaving somebody out?
Yes. Another summit. Hold on. I was going to see if I could do this from memory, but I don't think I can.
Oh. So we'll let you compose yourself, and Lisa can sing a song for us. Lisa's
going to sing.
Oh, no, you don't want that.
All right, so we're not going to have Lisa sing a song for us. We're going to have Stosh make up a quick trail report from another summit.
Yes. So another summit, you can embark on a transformative journey with another summit. Another summit is dedicated to serving veterans and first responders with free outdoor activities. Activities like walks in nature, paddling, hiking, and even backpacking. Join our supportive community to rejuvenate in nature's embrace. Experience camaraderie, adventure, and healing at no cost. Take your next step with another summit and ascend to new heights with resilience and joy. Apply today on anothersummit.org. All right. So, who has been outdoors? I know a lot of people have, and Lisa has. So we'll talk about that later. This is what I like about the listener spotlight, because Lisa tagged us, and she gets to talk about that instead of me just saying a little blurb of that she went over these little peaks here. So she gets to go all out, and that's what we want you to do. So that's what you should do basically when you tag us, is tag us by typing at ITL Catskill MTM podcast, and we'll talk about it on the show. I mean, Sean Scion 72 was at Mount Tremper, and unfortunately he accused us for blowdown, that we went up there and freaking threw down trees like we were like 7 years old back in the day, and that he had to clear them. And I was like, this is horrendous. I would have gone up there and I would have done blowdown across the whole trail, not just 1 or 2, but like 5 or 6. So he got lucky that I didn't go up there.
But not that I'm admitting this, but yeah, I can blow a lot of hot air, as frequent listeners know. So maybe I was up on Mount Tremor, and maybe I was, saying some stuff and blowing down some trees to give him a hard time after he trashed us for having episodes that are too long. Maybe he needs more time cleaning up blow down on the trail. That's what I'm saying. So
it's a good point.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah, Sean, and he also went up Slide, and with his dog. Oh my God, I forgot what his dog's name was. I'm sorry. Enzo.
Yeah.
Good Lord. So Enzo, Sean was up slide with Enzo, and he met absolutely nobody. He went up the Curtis Hombre Trail and then back down. Met absolutely nobody. It was during one of those days where it was kind of a little bit snowing. So
You say so? I thought it was on Sunday he went up.
I didn't think it was. Was it Sunday?
I think so. Do you remember, Lisa? Did you see his post?
I probably did. I don't remember what day though.
Okay.
Yeah, neither do I. I mean, sorry, Sean, but and he also claimed to report that there is still no bridge over the Neversink. So, sorry, Ted.
Someday, and when they do build it, they're going to name it after me.
And it's going to be a suspension bridge.
Yeah, they're going to name it World's Most Awesome Dad Bridge.
There's a silence because that's so... No, we're not going to name it
thanks.
that.
All right, thanks. Thanks, buddy.
You know, I do think that instead of a suspension bridge, it should be one of those like a swinging rope. Like just like, like swing over to the other side. That would be fun. Like Amazon stuff.
Or a zip line. I think a zip line works better.
That's a good option.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
And then animals, puppies and dogs can use it.
Yeah, but they're harnessed to it. Diana would see, which should be great.
Yeah, or maybe just rocket launchers. You can like get yourself in a rocket launching tube and just like be rocket launched across the East Branch.
All right.
I don't think that's too unreasonable.
A little bit too far. So
catapult.
So this next one, Choaticquixotic, is that how you say it? Went up East Rusk and Rusk, I think. We'll talk about that later. Is that you, Lisa? No.
Yeah, Choaticquixotic.
Okay.
We're going to ask about that name later on.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later. We'll go deep into that. So Daniel Passes went up Wittenberg and Cornell. Thank you, Daniel, for doing that. It was, I don't know if that was with Diana. I know he's been hiking with Diana. So off in the woods, Sean was up at Ashokan High Point that went down to Little High Point, or is what I call the Knob, and other people call it something else. What do you call it, Ted? Is that?
I call it nothing because I don't want other people to go over there. There's a few spots in the Catskills that are just so pristine and prime. You got to keep them secrets. So I think I think it's one of these tremendously underrated hikes to hike into Ashokan High Point and then down to Little High Point and then down to Wagon Wheel, or in the opposite direction.
You just gave away the route. I mean, I could have said the Little High Point and nobody would have noticed.
Yeah.
You just gave away the whole freaking route.
The show. I mean, we have Lisa here tonight, so there's like 2 other people that are going to listen to this episode. I think she's one of all 3 listeners. Oh, we're up to 6. So, yeah.
Yeah. So,
well.
Great. I'm glad he explored that area. It's a great area. So also Catskill Mountain Bruce Scott went up Wittenberg and Cornell with Zorro for doing Zorro's Peaks. He only has 5 left for Zorro. So congratulations. Witch in the Wilderness, Danielle, is getting intel from our podcast. She recently started listening to it, and she posted a great picture on the summit of Slide. So she's looking forward to continuing more of her Catskill hikes while listening to the podcast. Thank you, Danielle. It's really appreciated. Henderson Hikes, Kate is back at it, but didn't tag us, so it doesn't count, Kate. You got to go back and do it over again. Sorry.
Yeah, so this is where we want Lisa to just say boo. Give him a big boo, Lisa.
Boo.
Boo. Same. And the same thing as Joanne, so she gets another boo.
Yeah.
Boo. Outrageous. So... Kate went back at it, and so did Joanne. They were out at, it looked like Huckleberry Point. So good thing with, I think Tom was out there as well, too. He didn't tag us, but that's okay. If you don't tag us, it still doesn't count anyway. So
yeah,
sorry, Kate.
Just stay home.
Yeah. And also Jeff Jotz climbed Canoose Mountain in the Newark watershed area with Orla. So I'm not familiar with this. It looks, are you Tad's smiling? He knows this area.
Well, when you say Newark and Jeff is from Jersey, I mean, is his hike like around the Newark airport? That's where you went hiking, where you've got like 727, 757, 7 whatever planes flying overhead. Wow. I guess that's only a Jersey person's hike.
It's a good question, actually. I don't see anything around Newark but airplanes and
the Newark watershed. Mm-hmm. Hey, at least he got outdoors and tagged us, and that's all that matters.
Indeed. And what's this next question, Ted?
Oh, yeah. So I noticed that Rachel Jean, the Gypsy Queen, hasn't been posting photos or posts of hiking, and she hasn't been tagging us. So I sent her a DM, and she reported back that her and her husband, Josh, came down with a little respiratory uh, ailment, infection, or virus, whatever. And so they're on the mend right now, and she hopes to get out hiking soon. So, well wishes to Rachel Jean, the Gypsy Queen. We got to get her on the show soon.
Yeah. And Josh. So,
And Josh.
yeah. So, excellent. Thank you, everybody, for tagging us in your adventures on social media. Really appreciate it. Also, if you think we're doing a good job and you want to support the show, buy us a hard cider or buy us a coffee. I call it a hard cider on there. Buymeacoffee.com. Also, rate the show. If you think we're doing a good job, rate the show 5 stars. If you don't think we're doing a good job, then don't rate the show. That's plain and simple. Don't freaking rate the show. I could get my New York City accent. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah, or rate the show as if we're doing a great job.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's
That's
the internet after all. You know,
correct.
You can lie a little bit or a lot on the internet.
Correct. All right. So, hold on. Once again, I got to get this down. I got something. Do you have something? Do we have something to drink, Ted?
Well, I have something to crack open, but it has 0 alcohol content.
All right, hold on. I'm doing it for beautiful.
This is Lisa. Have you ever wondered how we do this? The cracking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Last week, mine went all over me. It was hysterical. I didn't tell Stosh until afterwards.
Oh,
I made that comment about him getting his on his microphone, and I was able to open mine without getting mine on my microphone. That's because I wore it. It went all over me. I almost had to throw out my keyboard. It was so bad.
But I am honest with our listeners. That's
I'm like that Hollywood caliber where the show goes on. I didn't miss a beat. I just kept talking, as I'm so good at doing talking, particularly when it's about myself.
Yeah, that's silence. Yeah. That's what we don't do that here.
I'm throwing
right?
nothing but balls tonight. No strikes.
Lisa isn't having anything. That's okay, Lisa. That's very strong of you. So previous hikes, Lisa, you tagged us in the show. You went up East Rusk and Rusk. You want to tell us about that little adventure? Go all in, please. Tell us every single detail that you can.
Yeah, so I went up from Diamond Notch Falls up to Hunter, looped around, went up to East Rusk, and I don't think I've ever approached Rusk from that way, so it was like really nice like layer of snow on the top. It was good. I feel like I'm really getting excited about the winter and the snow now. Just kind of gray day, but it's good to get out, get a shorter hike in. It was good. And then I actually did the Burroughs Range on Thanksgiving, which is like my bigger hike this week. So that was really nice. I did slide as like one of my first like wintry hikes 3 Thanksgivings ago. So it was nice to like see my progress where I could do just the whole range by myself now. And it was a good time out there. It was really cold, but minimal ice. I still haven't used my spikes yet. That was fun. It was good to like have a fire after nice like chill Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's it. That's like you did the Burroughs Range and it was nice. Like that's like heaven. Like winds, high winds. Yeah. You said it was cold. What was your temperature like range? Do you think at the time?
It was probably around like mid-20s up there.
Nice.
But like no sun. It wasn't really windy though, so that was all right.
Yeah. The one thing about winter hiking, when you don't have like snowy winter conditions, but you have those gray winter days, you got to learn how to really balance the color on your photos, the white balance, because it's so hard in that kind of lighting. But Lisa, so you hiked the Burroughs Range. You did it solo?
Yeah. I don't no one wants to hike that much with me.
No?
So I'll just go by myself. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. So you started out at the Slide Mountain parking area?
Actually went from Woodland Valley, but I did the loop back and road walk to Slide first, so I could start at Slide because I've done that loop several times, starting at Wittenberg. So I was like, I'll go the other way this time.
Yeah.
And like front load the kind of like boring part more before the climbs. So
Yeah.
that was interesting. I like that.
So what did you feel about the length of that hike?
It's like moderate. I like
Yeah.
it's a good range. I've done it a few times now. I've done it with Panther added, so that's like nice. But now that it's like colder and less sun, I'm opting for a little bit shorter hikes, you know.
Gotcha. So this is where, without
Yeah.
Lisa telling us, we're learning that Lisa's a strong hiker, because if you can do, in my opinion, that loop, the Slide Mountain loop from Woodland Valley, and hike that, oh my God, boring trail from Woodland Valley up to the Giant Ledge Junction, that's a long hike, man. I've only done it a couple times, and I swear I'll never go back.
That's not great. It's the steps.
Yeah, it's the steps. It's all those fucking rocks, whether you're going up or going down. In fact, you did it the right way by front loading what you called the boring part. I would like call it front loading the toe jam part, because coming down to Woodland Valley after you've hiked the traditional Burroughs Range, come over Slide down to the parking area, and then heading over to Giant Ledges, that little call or intersection there, and then going down that old carriage trail, which is what it is. It's just full of erosion and rocks that you just like are jamming your toes the whole way down. So that's hardcore. I want to hear more about East Rusk. What did you think about East Rusk? It's a beautiful mountaintop.
Yeah, there was a lot of like just weird trees. I really like the moss. Like it was, you know, I like those pine trees up there. And I went to like Vermont this summer, and so it kind of reminded me of that vibe a little bit. It was, you know, it's really pretty.
Yeah, it's one of those mountains that's under 3,500 feet that gives you more of a like taller mountain feel than you get in some of the mountains. Like, let's take Alone as an example, or Eagle. They don't give you the same altitude feeling that you get when you go through East Rusk. It's really cool up there.
And I think it just gives you that little, like a little bit more softer feeling of the mountains, a little bit more connection than just hustling and bustling your way up that one side of Rusk, just freaking hauling yourself. And then you go up East Rusk, and it's nice. It's like a float. Like you just go and go. It's beautiful.
Yeah. One of my favorite loops is to start out at the end of Spruceton Road and hike up the Devil's Path, bang out Southwest Hunter, go over to Hunter, come down Hunter, up East Rusk, over to Rusk, and then back down to the parking lot. That's a great bushwhackers hike, Pete Bagger's hike, in my opinion. So,
talking about giving away spots to go to, and he's going, East Rusk is great.
Yeah, well, but that's such a popular hike now. I mean, I've been doing it for so long that when you would go up there was like no evidence of foot traffic through there. And now it's got the braided trails that the DEC complains about. And they should, instead of complaining about them, give us a bunch of trail markers, and we'll go up there and we'll mark the best way to get through there. And there's some pretty cool things to hike through up there. And when you do go through there, you kind of really get that I'm in a wild forest when I walk through there. At least that's what I think.
Correct. Yeah. So good time. Glad you went out twice. Jesus. Got more out than I can. So do you want me to go next, Ted, with my I mean, it's not really boring. Like, you go ahead, do your thing, and I'll do my winter storm. I'll be the latest. How about that? How about the latest?
Okay. All right. You'll have like the up-to-date report, and I'll have the outdated report. So on Friday, when the forecast was for high winds and a lot of wind chill, I opted to hike Eagle and Balsam. And when I saw that was on my list for November, you kind of look at that after having done that hike easily 12.5 times, or hike those mountains 12.5 times or more. You're like, what way can I hike it that makes it interesting? So I looked at my Gaia tracks, and I thought, I'm parking at the end of Ryder Hollow, and I'm whacking up Haynes Mountain. And then going to continue over from Haynes on the trail out to Eagle, trail back to Balsam, and then whack down Balsam back to the Ryder Hollow parking lot. And I have to say, given the weather conditions, because the ground was crunchy, frozen, light dusting of snow. So the ground was really, really firm. But that hike up the slope of Haynes Mountain from that parking area was divine. I wanted to believe it was a predominantly sugar maple forest because the trees had the bark of maple trees, and all the leaves on the ground that you could see were maple leaves. But then some of the things I read give me the impression that it might have been a larch forest. And so I got to really double check that information and see what Mike Kudish has it listed as. But it was a pleasant hike. You can really tell when you go up that forest, that what I thought was a maple forest, and then you enter the old growth area. It's just like a dramatic change from one to the other, which evidences that whole area was logged out or burned out at one time. And then I got over to Eagle. It's the same as it ever was. The hike back to Balsam, somewhat the same as it ever was. But it was just a great day to be out hiking, with the wind roaring through the mountains and the temperatures being, in the 20s, wind chill making it lower. And then, like I said, I hit the summit monument on Balsam. I kind of wondered, why is it Balsam Mountain has what could be considered the most elaborate summit marker in all of the Catskills?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what does Plateau get, Lisa? What do they have on Plateau?
What is it?
I saw
a P?
a P carved into a tree when I was up there.
That
on
you
Friday.
posted that, Lisa, right?
Yeah, my sister posted that.
Your sister. So what the fuck? Okay, so let's bring this up after Tad started. Yeah, Plateau has the summit marker that says P, right?
What is Plateau? It has Plateau written out.
Yes, so that's a great summit. Fantastic.
Yeah. Westkill gets a sign that says Westkill Summit. What it's Slide Mountain. You want to call the Burroughs plaque the summit marker? I don't think so. I think it's the Burroughs plaque. Why is it that Balsam gets that little rock, assemblage there?
Awesome rock. It's called what do they call that thing that
Leave No Trace rock? That's what it's called.
No, it's not a monument, but they called it a
what do you call it, Lisa?
I don't know. I don't really have a term for it.
Spiritual marker. Like I forgot what they call those things that
well, if it's so spiritual, it completely leaves a blank in your mind.
Is it like Catskill Stonehenge?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah,
that's
those are actually there's kind of like a Stonehenge area.
Don't say it.
Okay,
like,
I'm not saying it. All right. So at any rate, I checked out the monument, then I went down to the lookout. There was so much it was snowing on and off during the day. So when I got over the lookout, there was a lot of snow in the air, so you couldn't get really any decent photos. And then I headed back towards the monument. And when I got near the monument, that's when I banged a hard right and whacked down that shoulder of Balsam. It was fairly cool. You see a lot of stuff you haven't seen before. I posted some pictures of some really neat trees I saw. Got a few more neat pictures of trees I can post, but that was my Black Friday hike, Eagle and Balsam. It was very well worthwhile.
That was your good hike like that. You didn't have another one?
No, Saturday and Sunday, I did some. Well, we had Thanksgiving on Saturday with our one daughter, which was great. Thanksgiving proper was kind of like because we had no family here. So my wife and I, we did turkey dinner by ourselves and talked about Thanksgiving's past with the family. And then so Sid came over on Saturday, and I spent my weekend, because after I did my hike on Friday, I stopped at Lowe's in New Paltz to do my good deed for my wife. And if you went to Lowe's in New Paltz this weekend and you saw a white Jeep Wrangler sitting there for 3 days straight, that was my Jeep, because it never started again. So that's how I spent my weekend, if you really, really want to know, was trying to get my Jeep going. And I think as Stosh saw, the big flatbed truck came and towed it away. So it's in the shop right now.
It's time for a Lucid.
No.
Or a Cybertruck. Get that Cybertruck up there.
Yeah. I don't want a car with like a flat panel display.
Oh,
I'm too old for that.
Yes, that's
right,
true,
right,
actually.
Lisa?
Yeah, you are probably too old for that.
Thanks, buddy.
I mean,
I think we're muting her now.
We do have a dynamic range of probably ages. So, like Tad, you're what?
I'm the grandpa. I'm the grandpa of the group. Okay.
So, Tad, you're like, you said you were like 62, right?
A little bit. Dad, you can add a few months.
Okay,
to that.
42. Lisa, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 32.
So, Sarah, it's like 10 years of each in between. So, we do have a dynamic range of ages. So, here. So, I mean,
there you go. Because that's hiking is like generational neutral.
Exactly. So, awesome. Well, glad you had a good time. Sorry about the Jeep, man. Really appreciate it.
Hey, it'll be out this weekend. Don't worry.
Good. I tried to get out this previous weekend, but I couldn't get out of all the crap that we had to do. So, today I was just like, there's a snowstorm going on. I really wanted to, my thoughts were going down to the Catskills and go on Twin, but I was just like, let me wake up and see what it's like outside. And it was where I was. It was pretty shitty outside. We had some heavy snow falling, and then later on, luckily, there was a certain area that closed in between. I think it was like Downsville and stuff. I mean, that's the way I was headed, but it was a significant area, just like all the other Catskills. So I was like, I'll just stay local. I went up to it's called the Hartwick Trails on the Hartwick College area. Beautiful, just area that doesn't have any crazy elevation gains. Got night view, good wooded forest and stuff like that. Just in the beginning, you hear all, of course, the backing up beeping of people plowing and stuff, and then the slamming down of the freaking plows. And then I got over this little hump and I heard nothing but the snow falling, and it was absolutely wonderful. And I was just going at my own pace, enjoying the snow. And I think there was only 3 inches of snow, so I didn't have snowshoes on. I didn't even have traction. It was phenomenal. Once again, there's no elevation gain. And then, I'm just going up and over little bumps and here and there. And I explore a little bit off trail just to see if I can get a view of anything. And we had this big area that they had over there that was former soccer fields that they turned into solar panels. But it was really nice just to get a sense of the snow falling outside of the trees, because when you're walking through the trees, it's oh yeah, the snow's falling pretty quick, but not as bad. But when you get outside where there's no trees, it's falling like crazy. It was going like crazy. So I went in, I did around 3.5 miles there. One thing I didn't have, everybody's saying, is I have on my bingo card, is that I'm walking up the trail, and all of a sudden I hear this loud machine behind me. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I'm a little bit too far up for a freaking plow to be making it this far. And I keep hiking, and I just hear the roar of a diesel engine. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It was me and my Jeep.
Yeah, it wasn't you and your Jeep. And then I turn around, and there's a freaking log skidder coming behind me, and the guy's waving at me. I'm like, I better get out of the fucking way. I move out of the way, and the guy's like, I saw you hiking in there. I saw a big bright blue thing going on, and I was just like, well, I'm just apparently I didn't hear you until you came back up the trail. And he's just like, yeah. And apparently they have this trail has a right of easement on that little part, so he was logging for the people that live down the street. So I was just like, oh, that was crazy. I didn't have that on my bingo card today. And after I left that little trail and talking with that guy, I got to the viewpoint, and there's you can see a little bit of the city. I call it a city. It's not really a city. And there was awesome snowfall, and it just kept falling the whole time. And it was, once again, 3.5 miles of just, I wanted to be out there during that time of the hard, heavy snow, and just get that feeling of seclusion and just nothing happening and such. And the one thing I can say, though, is that do not underestimate or get your goddamn snow tires on your car, because it makes a world of a difference. I've always used snow tires, and like it's like, if you want, there was an area that is kind of closed off to people that they don't plow, that I was just like, you know what, I'm going to take my car up here. It's an all-wheel drive. It's got snow tires on. I'm going to see if this fucker can handle it. So it's pretty steep. It's really steep. I take it, I turn, I back up, and I just roared up there. Snow tires handled it like nothing. And I was just like, man, this is so much fun. So if you want to come up in the Catskills and stuff like that and do stuff during after a snowfall, get snow tires on. You won't be flying off the roads unless you're a freaking idiot driving. And I saw so many people in this small city, quotation marks, city, on the side of the freaking roads because they're idiots and they didn't have snow tires, and they hit the gas a little bit too hard and flew off the road. It was hilarious. I love seeing that. It's my favorite. Yeah. I'm just like, you freaking idiots. This freaking Tesla piece of shit car is flying by your truck that's off the side of the road. That's hilarious.
My comment with snow tires in the winter and hiking in the Catskills, and presumably this applies to the Adirondacks and other remote areas, is you might be able to do really, really well with your all-season tires on your car driving on the road, and then you get to the parking area and it hasn't been plowed. Having snow tires then comes in real handy, especially at the end of the hike, not having to push your car out of the parking area. I assume when you talked about the blue thing that you mentioned in your story, you were wearing the, just shout it out if you know the answer, Lisa. You were wearing the...
She listened to the last episode, she'll know.
Helly Hansen shell jacket.
We have a winner.
Yeah, I did wear that.
Awesome. All right, so there you go. Lisa's been paying attention. Kudos. I'm going to put 2 points in her column. Yeah. So, you mentioned that you were considering twin. Was like you mentioned twin.
It was either twin or Bramley, and I
why would you, of all the mountains in the Catskills, why would twin be on the list for today, on your list, which is not a list?
It's because it's one of my favorite hikes. I just love the elevation gain, the open area up top. Yeah, it's got a great hike, whether you're coming up from one side or the other. It's a great hike up to the summit area, the Twin Peaks, if you will, and then that hike through the balsam forest is great, and you got 2 viewpoints. It's like it's got all the boxes checked for Catskill Mountains. Exactly. So that was my idea. So awesome. Glad everybody got out, and that's good to hear. And once again, snowshoes now, bring them. Spikes, get there. They should be in your pack already. And Catskill News, volunteer, New York, New Jersey Trail Conference 3500 Club, Catskill Trail Crew, Catskill Mountains Club, Visitor Center, Jolly Rover Trail Crew. Anywhere you can volunteer, it makes a great difference. And if you need stickers, send me a message with your address. Lisa, have you gotten stickers? You haven't. I haven't. I don't remember ever getting on that. Right?
No, I don't have any stickers.
Outrageous! This is
I feel
embarrassing.
like I was promised stickers like a long time ago. Also,
Are you serious? Did I?
Yeah, I might have to knock your 5-star review down to 4 stars. But, it can be fixed with some stickers.
What if we
Stasha's having a heart attack.
Yeah, if we make the intro music louder, would that get us back up to 5 stars in your book, or are we still down to 4 because Stash didn't send you stickers?
Fucked up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe make the intro more metal, and then we can talk.
See, there's a reason why she has that name in their Instagram name.
But you haven't sent her stickers.
I know. I'm gonna backtrack on this and make sure I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And
we need to hire you a support person.
This is ridiculous. This is why I can't handle everything myself. All right.
Yeah.
So
we need a team of people.
Get like an unpaid intern or something.
I know.
Yeah.
Lisa, I'll contact you. All right.
Okay.
All right. So weather forecast coming along. Once again, we got snow today, 6 to 8 inches. It was the forecast. So looking at Friday, a high of later in the nighttime of 25 degrees, but during the day it's a high of 21 with a wind chill of -8 degrees. So bring your layers, but it looks to be clear on Friday. Saturday looks to be clear and maybe partly cloudy as well, with a high of 25 and a low of 1 degree with the wind chill. So once again, layers, layers, layers. Sunday looks to be the same way, sunny to partly cloudy, a high of 21 and a low of 0 with wind chill. So layers, layers, layers. Once again, as we all hike we start to hike more in the winter, we learn the way we sweat, the way we perspirate, stuff like that. And so you learn the way you can do your layers. I should have said this before. I started out at my hike with a Bergeron Summit sweater, and then I was just like, you know what? Once I start hiking uphill, I'm going to be sweating like a motherfucker. So I took off that and I put on my Helly Hansen, and I had an underlined shirt and a regular t-shirt, and I didn't change the rest of the time. So you learn with winter, you learn the way you need to like do your layering, and it takes time. So don't give up on it. Just keep working at it, keep learning your the way you want to, and you'll get to love it. Trust me. So. All right, so let's get the last set of sponsors, and we'll get on to Lisa. That'll be great. So, discover the wilderness with Trailbound Project. Our expert-led hiking and backpacking education programs offer unparalleled outdoor experiences. Whether you're a beginner or seasoned adventurer, join us to learn essential skills, explore stunning trails, and connect with nature. Start your journey today with Trailbound Project and unlock the wonders of the great outdoors. Also, capture your love story against breathtaking backdrops with Outdoor Chronicles photography. Molly specializes in adventure couple photography, and she'll immortalize your moments amidst the stunning landscapes of the Catskills, Adirondacks, and White Mountains. She'll craft timeless images that reflect unique bond in nature's grandeur. Embark on an unforgettable photographic journey with Outdoor Chronicles photography. Don't hesitate to get a hold of Molly on all platforms. All right, so let's get on to the guest of the night. Let's go. So tonight, Lisa Morales joins us, aka Chaotic. How do you say it?
Quixotic.
Quixotic. Why can I say it correct? So Lisa Chaotic Quixotic joins us tonight.
Quixotic. Is that how you say it? Quixotic?
Quixotic.
Quixotic. That's
it's supposed to mean like whimsical or ridiculous because Don Quixote. That's where that word comes from.
Okay. I like it. So she's joining us on the show, talk about her experiences in the hiking and stuff like that. Listener spotlight. We love to give the listeners a little spotlight because once again, like it's great to hear about local stuff. It's great to hear about, just people who enjoy the nature like Tad and I do, normal people.
Hey, it's all about the hikers and their relationship to nature. That's what it comes down to.
Exactly. So Lisa, thank you for joining the show. Really appreciate it. It's good to have you.
Thanks for having me. After listening to like all you guys for like years, it's kind of weird to be talking to you, but it's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Once again, I'm sorry about not getting you some stickers. Jesus, that is like a slap in the face. Good Lord. I
could mention that time that you thought Lisa was a guy.
Oh, God damn.
Do you remember that, Lisa?
What was that?
Yeah.
I'm going to drink this all right now just because of that. That is embarrassing as heck.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about that. How many times did I apologize for that, by the way?
No, it was profusely, but not with stickers. But
well,
it's all right. I'm a pretty lenient person. I'll let it slide.
Yeah, Lisa's a good sport.
Definitely. So, Lisa, how about a little background about yourself for the listeners? Like just anything and everything from your like childhood and how it led you up to hiking and stuff.
Sure. So, I grew up in Saugerties and didn't really realize the mountains were so close. Wasn't really that aware of the Catskills, except I went to this weird Christian school in Red Hook, so I'd see the mountains twice a day, every day on the bridge. Never thought I'd be like up climbing them so much and like really passionate about the area. I feel like I didn't really appreciate the area I grew up in until like more recently when I started exploring it. I've always really liked being outside a lot. It really just resonated with me and found like peaceful moments, and had a pretty like not great family growing up. So just being not in the house was great. We had woods behind our house with like a little swamp, and me and my siblings would go catch frogs and like salamanders and just play outside. So I really appreciate that. And I would started taking walks. I moved back home when I was like in my and didn't really want to be around at home that much. So I just kind of poor. So I just, go listen to podcasts, walk outside, walk down to the river, see the moon. Really liked, being near the Hudson and, fresh air and everything. So I feel like that trained me to become a hiker with all like the endurance. I just walked a lot. Really like being alone, like introvert my whole life. So just thinking outside was great. And I feel like hiking, once I started that, I'm like, oh, this is like what I was looking for, doing that. Like I had that instinct, but I feel like hiking was a lot of like, just seemed not that accessible and like overwhelming, but I tend to doubt myself. So, I feel like doing it now has definitely built my confidence, and I'll be like, oh, I can do hard things. I just need to remind myself of that. But I like go on nature walks and stuff. Before I was like hiking in the Catskills, like going to like Ontour Lake or Ferncliff Forest, Poets Walk. Just like being in the woods is really nice. So I like that hiking is a little bit more physically demanding and you're like more removed from society, which is great. I don't want to be part of society that much. I like have a pretty social job now. So I run a restaurant, so I'm talking to people all day and that's so exhausting. So It's like really nice to just 20 miles outside by myself. That's fine. That's refreshing, honestly. So really just enjoy that solitude and stuff.
When were you first introduced to like I wouldn't say like the hardcore hiking, but like you said, Ferncliff Forest, Ontario, stuff like that. Is that when you first started to get into the hiking business and stuff and such?
I would say that was probably once I was like around my early 20s. I would just do that with my ex back then, or like my sister and stuff. And I didn't really start hiking till like 3 years ago now in 2022. Yeah, I feel like I wish someone told me about this sooner, but maybe I wasn't ready at the time. Like,
right?
I think things happen when they need to happen. So I'm glad I have it now, and I'm definitely making the most of like all the time I have trying to get out there.
Nice. And who's your sister? Who may I ask?
So that's Just Skate, who you keep calling Just Scat, and she's like, I stopped talking.
I gotta end this podcast now.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the fun of it is we just mispronounce everything. So people really don't know what we're talking about. It's interesting that you even think this is a hiking podcast. I didn't know that's what we were talking about. Hiking? Is that it? So I'm so confused here, but carry on.
This summer she was off from school, so we definitely did hiked a lot, did a lot of vacations, did some camping, and it was nice for me to kind of pass on, like, when I hiked with my ex, he would do a lot of the planning and stuff, so I kind of passenger princess my way through the Catskill 3500, like didn't have to drive to the trailhead or navigate or anything, so now I'm like, my job to pass it on and like do the planning and take her, and I really enjoy like, showing her these great places that I really enjoy.
That's all part of the fun is right there is just kind of like passing your knowledge on to the next person. And then, I mean, there's a lot of times when you're like, you don't want to do that because you're like, man, these places are so nice. I don't want to give this to the next person. But then you're like, man, I want this person to feel the way I do about these mountains and to connect. Exactly. Just like that. And then as you did with your sister, and once again with your ex, like he influenced you and such, or they, once again, I'm sorry.
No,
okay. Once again, I'm getting freaking everything wrong with this goddamn podcast. I'm starting to get embarrassed. Tad's just going to take over and just do everything. So now with your when did you start your quest for the 3,500? Like, I know you finished because I actually like stalked the list of the 3,500 people and see where. And now we have a cat enter in the equation right now, which is awesome. So
This is
that
Ducks, my cat Ducks.
oh, it's so cute. So your number, I don't remember. You're in the 4,000s, correct?
Yeah, 4412.
4412.
Wow.
So congratulations. When did you like? I mean, you lived in Saugerties your whole life. Right next door is freaking Catskill High Peak, like, and you said you just started hiking 3 years ago. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and it's like amazing to think how like much progress I've made because this year has just been like this full year starting at January is like my first year like solo hiking really. I guess I did the devil in a day and last Halloween. So
Wow.
Nice.
it's like
Yeah.
it's cool. It's very rewarding.
So you like just started off. Just what was your first high peak?
So I went to on Twin in July of 2022
Impressive.
and I loved it. This is so nice. But I remember like my first few hikes would be like probably like 6, 7 miles and like my ankles and my knees and my hips would hurt and I'm in pretty good shape. It was very humbling. It's like all like the weird movements trying to stabilize yourself on rocks and stuff. Like it's great. It keeps your brain active too, like with your body. I really find it very engaging.
I agree.
So yeah, Twin was beautiful. That was like my first view up high. And I was like, oh, I need to do this again. So yeah, started doing that regularly.
So before we move on, as we kind of have from your background, I just have to ask you about Saugerties. Does the phrase or place known as Big Pink mean anything to you?
Oh, I feel like I grew up in Saugerties, but I spent more time in Red Hook because my school and I had friends there. So
Okay.
not really that well versed in Saugerties like culture.
So, Stosh, you know what Big Pink is in
What is it?
Saugerties?
No.
Big Pink is the house that was rented by three of the members of the musical group known as the Band, who was the band that
B-52s?
played. No.
Oh,
They were the band. And they were a popular rock band in the 60s and 70s. Their last album was known as The Last Waltz or called The Last Waltz. But so they rented this house in Saugerties known as Big Pink. And in the basement of this house, they recorded some famous rock and roll songs that later were put out on an album. And so the house is still in Saugerties. It's still painted pink. And it's kind of like a place that old timers like me go to connect with the birth of rock and roll or its origins on the East Coast. So that's my only question of the night relating to Saugerties. And now I will move on to.
I was gonna say, I'm like, this is not rock. Like.
No, well, I mean, guys like me or gals like people like me that know old rock and roll. I mean, Big Pink is kind of a famous place. Dylan actually recorded with them in that basement.
Okay, Bob Dylan. That's getting a little bit more into our area, but
Well,
like Big Pink,
the band was Bob Dylan's band.
I thought that was Cream before Cream.
No. I don't think Dylan was with Cream. So, all right, let's move on. It's not rock and roll history tonight.
Yeah, it's Lisa.
Tonight
Jesus.
it's Lisa's most favorite mountain from her first round of Catskill hiking. What was when you finished your initial round of the 35? Which mountain was the one that you loved the most?
I still think it's Twin. That's my first one. Like it's so nice too. It's the first one I took my sister on. Like it's cool. It's got those like stone thrones. Like it's nice. I like it, and I've loved Devil Path as a whole, but
Yeah.
that one in particular for sure.
Correct. It's my favorite as well. Just be even going from which way, like the Roaring Kill area, you have elevation gain on both sides that just kind of blow your mind away. The left side coming from the east is a little bit less than going from the west, but that view, both sides, even both mountains offer an amazing view of Burroughs Range, Woodstock area, and stuff like that. And I wouldn't say it's doable in the winter because the winter it's freaking crazy, but in the summer that will get somebody's attention with not just the elevation gains, like the little tiny scrambles and stuff, but that view at the top is
Yeah. I mean, Twin, like I said earlier, kind of checks all the boxes for a Catskill mountaintop. So it's an epic hike to do Twin by itself or in a combination with its brothers and sisters on either side of it. So from your first round, what we've learned so far, Lisa, is when you got into Catskill hiking, you didn't have much of a hiking background per se, although you did spend time outdoors. So here you find yourself out hiking in the Catskills. What was the most memorable hike and why? Was it like some people, their first round, they have these really fun, pleasant, joyous hikes. And then some people have, like my first round, you have one of these hikes that's almost the hike from hell, when you're deep into the type 2 fun. So what's your story from the first round? What was your most memorable hike?
I think slide. I did
Slide.
it 3 Thanksgivings ago, and it was my first one where I didn't have to work after because my schedule was weird with my ex, so we'd have to go on Sunday mornings mostly, and then work after. So it's nice to just hike and then be in in Zen mountain mode after, not have to deal with screaming kids or anything. So it was just really nice to have the whole day and take our time. And it was coated in snow. The sky was crisp blue, no clouds, beautiful. I was that's what made me oh, I need to be outside in the winter. It's so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
My first time using spikes too. So that was a fun experience.
it makes you almost feel like superhuman, kind of right?
It does. Very invincible. It was nice. I was I didn't know this was an option. This is great.
Yeah.
How did people do this back in the 70s and 80s and stuff like that? What did they have micro spikes back then?
Well, I'm sure, if we dug into it, we'd find out what the backwoods remedies, do you take barbed wire and wrap it around your boots or something, or mountain lion teeth, do you embed them into the treads of your shoes, or animal bones? Who knows? I'm sure they had some way. And
Porcupine.
Yeah,
porcupine, the quills. Yeah.
I'm sure they had a way on the one hand. On the other hand, I think in the 17 and 1800s, when people were done doing all the things they had to do just to live, to just exist, because you didn't have a thermostat on the wall of your house where you could, turn on the heat. You would have to go out and chop down trees and cut up logs and split logs just, to stay warm in the winter. I'm sure they didn't do much recreating until a company by the name of Catula was formed. And then people are like, oh shit, let's go out hike in the winter because we have micro spikes. Okay. So your first round of the 3,500, is there any one hike that stands out in your mind as why the fuck am I doing this? Or I have to be careful because you mentioned you went to a Christian school, so maybe I shouldn't be swearing.
No, that's my former life. Unbrainwashed myself from there. Yeah. So I did North Dome, also on a Thanksgiving.
Wow.
But it was just enough snow, just mud, there was powder, just going up straight. Didn't know going from Cheryl was an option, which is my preferred method. So we just literally just went up the hill, and it was 2 steps down per 1 step up, and it just took forever. So, we were there out almost till dark, which was scary at the time, but now I'm fine with that. had headlamps still just in case, but it just was like, oh my God, this is terrible. I just want to get up there and go home. But it was fun. It's looking back, it was not that bad. I just
Yeah.
feel like it was like my first time doing something like that.
Yeah. Well,
And then there were like bear prints on the summit. It was pretty cool.
Oh, that's
It was
nice.
nice to see.
Was this you approach it
Yeah.
from Devil's Path?
I was like, as long as there's no bear. Yeah, from in between like Westkill and
Oh yeah.
North Dome, I believe. Again, I wasn't navigating at the time. I was like, I'll follow you. That's fine.
Yeah. So you went up and down the face with the ledges, the rock outcroppings on it.
Yeah, there was really no herd path or anything. It was just like straight up, and
Yeah.
it sucks.
Yeah.
But it was a great time. I'd
Yeah.
do it again.
Yeah, I remember, way back when I started Catskill hiking and you would go up North Dome from that direction. There was a lot of route finding involved. There was no beaten path going up. Now that, there's a hiker's path leading up to it, it takes some of the fun out of it, or maybe a lot of the fun out of it. And in my view, I take a lot of satisfaction in hiking something that has no path, that I have no data on, and as my rock climbing daughter would say, you're flashing it without any beta and just, hitting it the first time and figuring out how to get up there. So I totally identify with how you going up North Dome, it's kind of like at the time there can be some misery and some uncertainty. And when you look back at it and you overcame that challenge, it's really satisfying. And like you pointed out earlier, it builds your confidence to go out and do other and more challenging things. And that's probably a big part of life is, finding where your present limits are and pushing them out as you, go through life and explore more things. So we're going to get to it. I think Stash and I, we should write down on a piece of paper what the answer to this next question is going to be. What Catskill mountain is your least favorite and why? This is Lisa, somebody who's finished a few rounds of the Catskill 3500, hasn't done an entire round in the winter yet, but she's done enough mountains to have a least favorite, I think. Catskill Mountain. What is it?
I would say I don't dislike the mountain. I don't dislike any of them, but I don't like the road up Bear Pen. It's not great to hike.
Correct. You're talking about from Route 3, the western approach?
I think so, yeah.
To the
You
cabin?
past the cabin, everything.
Yeah, it's just loose freaking scree rock and stuff like that. I understand it. Have you ever approached it from the Heisenberg Road, kind of ski run road?
I think the first time I did it as a loop, so I probably went down that way.
It's a formidable ski area, kind of like a little thing, but there's definitely I understand where you're coming from. It's just a walk kind of up a hill.
No, I'm going to disagree with both of you. You just Bear Pen, maybe out of the 10 times you hike it, 2 or 3 of them, you're going to say, why am I here? But I'll have to say some of my best winter hikes in the Catskills have been up Bear Pen.
Well, of course.
And it's probably the same thing. God, I'm trying to remember what the fellow's name was, the optometrist that wanted to built the ski area there.
Oh, you got me now.
Yeah, because he felt that it got more snow than any other mountain in the Catskills. And
started with an S. Is it not Schultz? No.
No, not Schultz. Well, you can Google it while I freeze the ball for you here and talk about it. So, yeah, but he thought it got more snow than any other Catskill mountain given its position. And I've just in the winter, man, I've had so many great hikes there. My first time I did a round in the fall, I finished it on Bear Pen in November. And I left my car. It was barely snowing. And by the time I did banged out Vly, and then I went over to Bear Pen. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. On the way down, I couldn't see my tracks on the way down. It was one of these just epic winter Catskill hiking experiences, finishing out a fall round. Kind of ironic, I thought. But it's it's a decent round. If you didn't find the answer, Stosh, I'll let you go to the next questions. I'll look it up. I'll be the fact checker.
Yeah, so. you can do that. I'm more interested in Lisa's story. Now, I mean, Lisa, once again, you have those moments and stuff like that, but you're gridding, right? You're starting to grid, right?
Yeah, I've been working on that slowly. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but
you'll get up times when you're having those moments of when you love some certain mountain and then you hate some certain mountain, but then you'll love that mountain that you hate because you have that time of where you're like hiking up Bear Mountain and there's 4 or 5 feet of snow and you're above everything. So
yeah, I mean, I don't expect all of the adventures to be enjoyable. I mean, the amount that I'm doing, it's probably some of it's gonna suck. I went on one where I got downpoured on twice and my dry clothes got wet again, but it's fine. You get through it, and then I'm like, okay, I need to have better clothes in preparation for that, and you just learn from it. But it's not the mountain's fault. What
mountains were those at?
I did Indian Head, Twin, and Sugarloaf, and it was nice and sunny all the way up to Sugarloaf, and then it started raining, and I had 8 miles back. But it's all right. Rain's nice.
It's all right. 8 miles back of elevation gain.
So when you do one of those hikes where you're going to do the eastern side of the Devil's Path, Indian Head, Twin, Sugarloaf, and Plateau, do you do it as a out and back where you're hiking out and back, or do you have another means of transportation?
No, I just out and back.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
If you like a bicycle, you got to do the bike and hike. I've done that hike so many times where I just drop the Jeep at the end, ride to the start, and hike it. Although, if you want to get more miles in, that's the way to get more miles in, is just do it, the hike, the out and back.
Wow.
But yeah, that's a lot of hiking.
I do enjoy that, but it is.
Yeah.
Because I have too much energy. I needed a good channel for it.
Yeah.
Tad probably has some good bikes that he wants to sell you for this. So reach out to him.
I haven't sold a bike in ever, I don't think. I'll give them away.
Okay. Well, maybe I can trade you some podcast stickers for one.
Ha! I know you have none. Ha! You have no bargaining power there. But
yikes.
Death by Nettles, Zach, he has one of those electric scooters that he uses to go from point A to B when he's out hiking, which I think is pretty cool. You see some guy buzzing down the road on a scooter, to go to a hike.
With a backpack.
Yeah, and I think we talked about weeks ago about, having an e-bike rental service that, people can pick up an e-bike to scoot around in the Catskills. So, all right, let's move back to more serious things with Lisa, and let's talk about bushwhacking and navigation. We've heard from you that you started off under the guidance of somebody else, and you were letting them do the planning and the leading, and then now you're out there on your own solo hiking and loving it. So tell us what is your bushwhacking and navigation game consist of, and how did you figure it out?
So I could use some improvement in that area. I have been meaning to take a course or something, so I'm more actually proficient and confident and can do actual bushwhacking I hear you guys talk about. Sounds very enticing. So mainly now I've just been doing all trails because it's easy to use and it's what I have. So that, and everything kind of has a herd path. So, I feel like I've done them all at least once now with someone. So it's I'm more familiar, but would like to get better compass skills for sure.
Do you have a compass?
I do have a compass. I mean, I can probably use it in an emergency. I have a map and compass, but I'm not just out blazing my own trail or anything.
What I'll do is I'll look for some YouTube videos that I think capture the best way, the best teaching ones that I can find, and I'll shoot you links to them, and maybe Stosh can post those links
I will.
as well.
I'll
Oh,
shoot my
sure.
own links. I won't get your links. God, that
Okay,
would be like
get your own.
1940s links
Yeah, I learned how to navigate with the compass, decades ago.
back in the World War III.
Yeah,
Or
I was
World Two,
actually
sorry.
no, I was with Lewis and Clark. We were crossing America, surveying the land. Lisa, don't smile. It's a true story. Yeah, I did that for sure. And I was the one that invented trekking poles too. That was my original name was Trek. That's why they're called trekking poles. So no, I mean, I think a lot of people are just intimidated when it comes to using a compass. But if you can figure out how to use All Trails or Gaia, you can figure out how to use a compass. And then, orientating it with the map, just do it right from your house and print out a map of what's around you, where you live, and then learn how to do, orientate your map and then do bearings with things that you can see from your house. And you'll be like, wow, this is pretty simple to use. The other thing I use nonstop when I'm out hiking in the Catskills, because it keeps me from looking at my phone all the time to figure out how much further I have to go, is I have this cheap altimeter watch. And, when you find yourself going over 3,500 feet, you're getting close to the top if you can't see, how much further. So having an altimeter watch really helps. And using a compass is a lot easier than people think. But what is the advice you would give to somebody who is in the situation you were in when you started hiking on your own and you had been more reliant on somebody else for the planning, the logistics, the navigation, and then you found yourself wanting to do this, but not having that person with you anymore? And how did you get from not having that person and not having all the know-how to where you are now?
So I guess I was like, well, if I want to go out, I need to go by myself. So, kind of like familiar enough that it wasn't as intimidating from starting from scratch. So yeah, I actually enjoy doing the research now and like seeing the mileage and thinking about how long it will take me. And, I do like that. Just feel like you just have to keep doing it over and over again and it gets easier and less intimidating. And now I'm like, oh, there's several trailheads I just know how to get to. I don't need GPS or anything. So that just feels nice, and just inundate yourself with it and you'll get better and it won't be as intimidating.
Confidence.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than listening to us two crazy guys talk about hiking, where do you go to get this intel that you use?
Nothing. Podcast. That's it.
Well, that would be the correct answer, but you can give other ones if you want to, Lisa.
So sometimes I check Catskill Trail Conditions page.
Yep.
And I also bought a couple like trail guide books. And then All Trails is it's just easy too, because it has like reviews that are more current based on like conditions and stuff. Then, just look at a map a little bit.
I mean, once you guys start, once again, confidence, you build your confidence up, and then you can kind of like you start like you've done solo hiking and stuff like that on your own, and then you can teach others and stuff. You feel more kind of powered up to do these kind of things to educate others. Like I'd have to say that I've done with the podcast. It took me a while to gain my confidence to do this and to kind of preach and teach about the Catskills and stuff. But I'm there and I'm glad I'm helping people. Once again, Lisa, I don't know if you listen to all episodes, but I thank you. And I mean, that means,
yeah,
to me, that's, I mean, I'm doing a pretty good job. So, I mean, at least decent, at least one person's listening.
Yeah. So I'm going to give a shout out and kudos to Lisa, because she's out there solo hiking when there's a lot of people out there that just haven't built up that courage and that confidence to get out there and do it alone. And there's people that have done a lot more hiking than Lisa that still don't want to go out there and hike alone. So it's great that she's built up that confidence to get out there and to do it and overcome, what seemed like barriers to go out there and have fun. And, I think it's, whatever age you are in life, if you're able to go out into the wilderness without a lot of artificial sensory stimulation and enjoy yourself and be like at peace and harmony with where you are and what you're doing, that's like a great therapeutic activity. And maybe this is where Stosh wants to segue into gear talk with Lisa.
I mean, what have you kind of like change into gear? Like, you once again, you first start out with backpacking, you're hiking, you have kind of like, okay, hiking shoes and stuff. What are your gear that you have progressed in on that has improved and changed that you want to preach about and stuff like that? What are your favorite hiking shoes? What's your favorite shell? Your favorite, t-shirt, stuff like that?
So I have a really good merino base layer that I really like. Darn Tough socks are my go-to. For the winter, I have some nice Columbia boots, and my summer boots are normally like a North Face. I've gotten a couple pairs of. I've been like recently just buying more stuff and like experimenting with new things because most of my stuff was like given to me or random. Like I still use my shell jacket in the winter. It was like my ex's sister's, but it works.
Does it work?
I
Yeah,
bought
does
a new
it work?
jacket that's a little heavier that also like for serious winter. Yeah, I mean I'm fine with it. I upgraded to a better backpack this year too because my sister got my old one as a hand-me-down, so it's a little bit bigger, so I can use it all year. I looked
What
at
are
it,
you
was like
bringing? What's it?
26 liters. I can put all my extra layers and everything in it. And it just feels better on my back and everything. It's hard to find a good backpack because I have a really small frame. But I actually have a kid backpack for like a light, like evening hike in the summer or something where I don't need to carry a lot of food or anything. So that just works for me. I'm really just kind of just not that gear oriented. I'm like, if it works fine, it's fine. I'm not like crazy about it. But
And anything you want to preach about, like?
just my boots really make the biggest difference. I like those. I started using toe warmers in the winter, so that really makes a difference. Not having cold feet, I could like mentally, I'm like I can go so much longer. It's great.
So at first, did you use shoes and then you went over to boots?
Yeah, I did probably like my first 3 or 4 hikes in like my Adidas sneakers, which were not great. But then I'm like, I needed an ankle support, so got my
Right.
first pair of North Faces, and that was so good. Like when hiking those like soaked, and I don't even get blisters or anything. Definitely a big fan of the boots I have. Recently got these barefoot boots, so you can kind of like sense the earth and like the textures and stuff more. So that's nice, like extra sensory layer. I did listen to your recent episode with the barefoot hiker, and I'm like, that's kind of enticing, but I feel like it's a little baby step into that.
Hey, contact him. Ken will go with you on something. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Did I see you posted a picture of you reading Ken's book?
Yes, I actually bought that as soon as I saw you guys post that. Before I even listened to this episode, I'm like, this will be very resonating for me. I need that. And I've started, it's really good so far. I was like, this, I feel like makes a lot of sense. Everything he says, really vibe with it.
That's crazy. I can't even walk down my freaking driveway without like suffering and stuff like that. Then you guys are out freaking hiking mountains. It's insane.
So what about his book resonates with you, Lisa?
Just like, I guess, the mental approach to hiking. Like, it's just about being like in nature. And I'm really big on like, people forget we're animals and we're part of nature. Like, I just feel so like my brain is so happy just moving in the woods. Like, that's our natural state, how we evolved. And like, I didn't live in the city like him, but I feel like society kind of feels artificial sometimes. And like, I feel like more and more as I'm out there a lot, like my real life is just like doing that. Like, it's so much more fulfilling. And just you pick up on like smaller things that our brains are trained to, like the sound of the wind or the rustling of the leaves or like the differentiations of the colors moss. Like, that's what is so calming for us. We're not supposed to be doing emails and like looking at screens all day and all that made up stuff.
Yes. Oh my God.
Where would you recommend Ken's book as a Christmas gift or a holiday gift to another hiker?
Oh, definitely. I was probably going to buy a couple more issues for gifts as well.
Fantastic.
Even if you're not into that kind of like crazy hiking thing, like it's great to just learn about other people's experiences.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's still lessons to learn from that.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't read his book yet. My impression is it's more about than just hiking barefoot. It's kind of more of a holistic, if you will, approach to life and being outdoors. So that's Lisa's unpaid endorsement for Ken Posner's book, Chasing the Grid.
Ken's got to give us some freaking like feedback, payback on this. Come on.
We get some royalties, I think.
Yeah.
And speaking of royalties, and I don't know why it leads me to this, but we talked about Lisa's gear. Do you have or have plans to buy a Helly Hansen jacket?
I think I'm good. It comes highly recommended. But I have some good jackets already.
Okay.
When Stosh hooks us up with the discount code, we'll share it so everybody can get one cheap. So what about your winter gear? What do you mentioned you have spikes? Do you have micro spikes? You have something more bigger than micro spikes? You have like trail crampons or other spike equipment, and we can talk about snowshoes, if you will.
Yeah, well, I had some old spikes that are probably kind of not that sharp. So based on your guys' recommendations, I did buy new Hillsound trail crampons for this year. Haven't used them yet. So I have that. My snowshoes were found. I got some MSR Lightning Ascents found in the woods. Just needed some new bindings, so that was a blessing. And
nice.
they're the only ones I've tried, but I like them so far.
Yeah.
God damn, score.
You know what the mountains provide? I found so many hats and water bottles, and
scored. Jesus.
Other than the snowshoes, what's some other cool stuff that your like mountain karma has brought you?
Right.
A lot of beanies.
Right.
I found a joint once in one of the canisters on Friday.
What's a joint?
I left it though, but
what do you mean a joint?
I was like, that's nice.
Is that a
old dad
cigarette?
Shit. Sorry, Lisa, for this old freaking boomer stuff. Yeah. God damn.
Yeah, we offer no opinion about what you should do or not do with the joint you find in the woods. But if you do find some magic mushrooms in the woods, our recommendation is not to consume them while hiking.
Yes, but like everybody else that consumes, like does a joint, like they finish the mountain, they explore it and they finish. Like everybody with mushrooms, they don't finish. Especially I'm on Tripper, one of the easiest that has the most blowdown because Sean doesn't maintain it.
Yeah, because he has a thing against day trippers.
Oh God.
Oh well, we're off the rails here.
Yeah, we are. So Lisa, the one thing I've recently like noticed that you have been doing your quest for the 46ers. Now that's I gotta admit that's a difficult task, and you've been doing a lot of backpacking. So how have you gone from doing your day hikes in the Catskills to backpacking in the Adirondacks? That's pretty crazy.
I haven't backpacked in the Adirondacks yet. That is a goal I have for next year, however.
What? I could remember your recent post that you have.
I did like a camping trip. I bought like a canvas cabin for a few nights, but not backpacking yet.
That's.
But that was a nice experience. It was good. I've never taken like a trip by myself till I started going up to the Adirondacks. So My like 3-day camping trip was nice. It's like a little solo vacation. Built my first fire. Hiked 5 peaks. Yeah, it was really nice. I would like to do more backpacking though. I've gone once on Arizona last year, and then this summer I took my sister on her first trip, my second trip. We went on Wittenberg, and then did Wittenberg and Cornell, and it was in August when I guess we had the fire haze because I took her there for the view, and the sky was white out. There was no view.
Yeah, wow.
But it was, it was still good to go.
Yeah.
Definitely felt my eyes burning after that, but
How do you feel when taking your sister on these hikes and then, kind of like, giving your knowledge off to her and being like, hey, do this, do that and stuff like that, do you feel kind of like great to pass that knowledge on?
it does feel nice. I feel like I'm finally being a good influence. Right? My cat. I'm being a good influence as a sibling, and like she's doing great. She's progressed a lot faster, I feel like, because she gets my like cheat codes already. So
How old is your sister?
yeah, it's really nice to see her enjoy it too. She's 30.
Oh, I mean, she's not that far behind. So, I mean, it's still, once again, you leading her and educating her through the Catskills and stuff like that is very, is very powerful and stuff like, giving that knowledge, education off is very helpful with us. Just, as we see these people being rescued without traction devices in frickin' the end of goddamn November. It's just blows my mind.
Yeah, it was great. I took her, we did the 6 at the end of August too, and surprisingly that was the hike she complained like the least amount on out of all of our excursions.
Wow.
And it was nice. I actually did the Fisherman's Path there, which I avoided the last time I did the 6. But it was really pretty. The sun was like at a beautiful night angle at like 7 p.m. It was nice. It was like so dry. We just like kind of just hiked up the right rocks. But
I remember that. You tagged us, right?
yeah.
Did you head out on the Fisherman's or did you come back?
I think so.
Yeah. That's
we
it's one of
came
my
back
favorite ways.
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to once again avoid the Fisherman's Path. I'm not a fan of that. Tad loves the Fisherman's Path.
There's times that that you shouldn't go down there, and I've been up on Rocky and bumped into people that was their plan to go down Rocky to the Fisherman's and head back to Denning, and I'm like, don't do it because I've run into some of the like deepest and densest snow drifts along the Fisherman's Path, and just one time, but it was relentless and it took hours. And now I know you in the winter because the wind's going to blow up there and then stall when it hits that that cove with slide, the Dink, Friday, Balsam Cap, and it just drops all that snow.
It's not even, it's to me, it's boulder hopping over the freaking water and avoiding the water during the summer and stuff. Like, I love it. I love the sound of the water, but I hate having to rock hop and then maybe get your feet wet and then be like, oh shit, we've got 3 more freaking miles of this crap. Screw this.
So there is one place I want to be in the Catskills that I have not yet been in these conditions, although I've been there many times when it's not like this, but where the storm streams that come off of Slide, the Dink, and Balsam Cap converge at the headwater, basically, of the East Branch. Have you ever been up there, Stosh, where those 3 streams come together?
I mean, in the summer, I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah. I want to go up
pretty
there
crazy.
after. Yeah, I want to go up there when there's like, an intense rainstorm and those things are raging.
That's psycho. You're a freaking psycho.
Yeah, I think that would be so like cool to just like hang out there. And maybe, if I found one of those hand-rolled cigarettes in a canister, maybe I would like use it to keep warm down there. trying to get Lisa to smile, but it's like there's nothing going. She's zoned. Yeah.
What peak was that you found that joint?
Oh, that was on Friday.
That doesn't. I would think that Rocky or Lone it would be that, like, take a hit for something you did work so hard for. But I mean, Friday is pretty tough. Like, so that's pretty good. I mean,
yeah. Well, there's more than one way to get to the top of Friday.
There is true, but
Yeah.
So Lisa, what got you doing the 46ers? Like, what got you to that?
So I went last year and did like a little vacation in July to the ADK Lodge wilderness campground, and that was nice. I did Wright and Algonquin were my first two, and then there was like crazy torrential storm that day, so I had to head back early and couldn't do Iroquois. So it was crazy getting back to the tent. We're just huddled from the rain, and like underneath it looked like a waterbed. Like there was like a river under the tent. So we wanted to do Marcy, but it was like so wet. They advised against us. So I was like, need to go back and do Marcy. So then I think it was last September, did Marcy, Gray, and Skylight, which at that point was my longest hike, 19 miles. Like it was a lot, but it was like so rewarding. And they're not as bad in the Adirondacks because it's like a few miles out and back. So like I feel like that's just walking in the woods. That's not even like climbing. So it's like so different up there. I really enjoy it. This is my first time having like above tree line experience. And like I'm not a big views hiker in the Catskills. So I just like being in the woods is enough. Views are nice, but it's not like my main motivation. But in the Adirondacks, I was like, this is unreal. It feels so wild, and like the expanse it was addicting. And I didn't think I'd like want to do the 46ers. People would ask me like, now that you're done with the Catskills, are you going to do it? And I was like, I think that's a little bit too much. But I took my sister this summer and we hiked Wright, Algonquin, and Iroquois. And that was so great to see her experience. And then like that relit the fire. I'm like, oh, I really do want to do this. And the 3-hour drive isn't that bad once you get used to it. So I did a couple overnight trips there. I stayed in the hotel room. I have a weird work schedule because I work in a restaurant. So I have Tuesdays and Thursdays off. So I'd usually work Monday night till like 9:30, drive up there, get there at like 1:30 a.m., just crash, and then hike like 18 miles and drive 3 hours back. And it's kind of crazy, but like it was such a great adventure. Like as tired as I would get, I was like so hyped up and like exhilarated. It was really great. I did the Habasa Loop, which is Haystack Basin Saddleback. That was like 18 miles. And that was about as hard as when I did the Devil in the Day. I think mostly because it was not as much elevation, but it was so hot. It was like 86 degrees at the base of the summit or at the base of the mountain.
Yikes.
And you go like 8 miles out before you even go up Haystack. And by then it was like 2 p.m. and like the hottest part of the day, and you're doing all of your climbs like in the sun. And I felt like it was such a challenge. It was great though. It was so beautiful. I was climbing up the Saddleback Cliffs. I was a little nervous reading about that, but it was fine. Like I do some climbing recreationally too, so like it wasn't that bad. And it felt just so empowering because just thinking like 6 months before this, I was getting surgery on my wrist, and now I'm climbing by myself in the Adirondacks. Like it was such a great experience, and I was so grateful for like having my ability back.
Yeah. What happened with your wrist injury?
So last February, I was just cleaning snow off my car. There was some ice under snow, slipped. Like my arm was just there. I know not to land on my hand, but I like jammed my hand into my wrist, and it looked so bad. I was like, I hope that's just like a bad bump. Then I like couldn't use it well, and it hurt so bad. So I'm like, I have to go to the ER. It was fractured, of course, in my right wrist. So I had to get a splint, and it was in a cast for a month. And I took 3 days off after breaking it and then went back to work because I'm the only front of house at night at my job. So also I can't stay home. So I was like, all right, my boss helped me out just to keep the restaurant open. One armed waitress thing is not fun. It was so crazy. And then I had to wait like a month before the surgery. I got a plate and 8 screws in. I've never had surgery before, never broken a bone. It was an experience for sure. And then I couldn't like use my hand for a while. It was not great recovering. I was out of work for like 3 weeks.
Wow.
But, I was like, still need a good attitude. It's going to happen regardless of if I embrace this or not. I just need to embrace my life's going to suck for a couple months. Going to get through this. Still just like do what I can. And my legs still work. I can still hike. I hiked 2 weeks after breaking it. Did Panther. My sister needed her winter requirements. So I'm like, I got to go. And then after surgery, 8 days out, I went back. We did Balsam and Eagle. And then we did a couple days later, Blackhead and Black Dome. Just felt nice to get out there, use my spikes on the ice and be like, I'm not going to let this get me down. I have all this time off from work also. So I'm like, of course I'm going to go hiking.
Oh, yeah. Right? Why the fuck not?
Yeah, it was crazy. And then I was still like working with the cast in for like another few months, like April, started physical therapy, finished that by like beginning of June. And then I'm like, I'm just going to do all of the solo hiking. Like it was really the toughest time of my life. And I've not had an easy life up to this point. But I was just like, it's just going to fuel me to be really appreciative and get out there as much as I can, which I have been doing this year. And I've like accomplished all my goals and done like extra things I never thought I would do, like my solo Adirondack trips or like, I also went camping with my sister in Vermont. I did the Vermont 5 in 3 days because I also would like to do my New England 115s. So yeah, I'm just like working on all these goals now and I feel like unfettered and, really just going to challenge myself and see what I can do. And it's been a lot so far.
Looks like you're on the right freaking path. That's all I got to say.
So, yeah. Lisa, my potentially last question is, you ever think about just selling everything, hopping in your car, living, they call it the van life. My daughter lives the cross-trek life out of her car. You ever think about this, completely unplugging from this, the day-to-day grind that we all live in and, just taking a year, 2 or 3, 4, a lifetime off, following your dream?
I don't know. I really like my day adventures, but I do like have my cats. I can take a hot shower. I can sleep in a bed. Like I can put myself through whatever during the day, but I want to like have a nice, I really like a peaceful home.
Wow.
I do like envy people that do that, but I'm not a big traveler.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to take more trips and stuff, but yeah, I don't think I could live out of a van or anything.
But you've backpacked where you haven't showered for a couple days. That's phenomenal, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that is nice. I think I'll want to do more like backpacking for like a couple nights or something. But I don't know. People keep asking me if I'm going to do the AT or anything. I'm like, no, I'll hike like over 20 miles in a day, but I don't want to be homeless for months, really.
Yeah, doing like those long hikes, you really have to be into it. But then there's also something to say for just, traveling with the car or with the bicycle, or go to Europe and use the train system and just spend months and maybe a year if you can. A lot of people don't have that type of opportunity or the means to create that opportunity. But it just sounds like you're on this trajectory of, exploring more and more, enjoying these excursions and overnighters more, that I just wondered if you kind of like fantasized about putting it all in your car and taking off. Even with the cats, you can do it with your cats.
Right.
I'm sure they won't object as long as there's a can of food there for them.
They don't get along though. I don't think they could be in a car together.
Yeah.
Caravan. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to when you get up to New Hampshire, Lisa. This is going to be phenomenal once you get up there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I like the New England 115 because it's like close enough where I can like do it with my job still. You know, I can figure it out, and like definitely want to do my first New Hampshire trip next year. I'd like to do the Presidential Traverse. Is like big on my list, so that would feel really good to accomplish.
I'm looking forward to hearing your report from that because it's goddamn. So Tad, we got to do that too as well. So maybe this would be like a whole
maybe
thing.
this summer. Maybe we'll do like a group thing. We'll get together, those 800 people, and that'll be enough people to carry my gear.
Right? Yeah. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah,
So.
and we'll get Rachel to be our cook because she's a professional cook, and then Lisa can serve the food for us.
Oh shit!
Right.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
we have everything going.
Yeah, it's coming together nicely.
It's good. It's good. So, Lisa, one last question. You're local to the area, Socrates, stuff like that. What do you want to give out for post-hike brews and bites? What is your favorite spot to go after a hike?
So hilariously, I'm very picky and also vegan. So I don't really go to restaurants, but I do work in one, which I'd like to shout out. Truss and Trestle Diner in Rosendale. It's not really in the Catskill region, but if you're hiking in the Gunks, it's a great place to stop. And friendly staff, I would say.
Yeah, I know the place. I know where it is. You drive by. I've never been there, but you drive by and it's like you want to check out the place. I actually mentioned it to my wife a few weeks ago that it looks really cool and we ought to check it out. So do they have vegan food?
No, not really.
No? Okay.
They're like diner with heavy smoked meat options, but yeah, I'm the most vegan there.
So have you ever been to the Red Dot in Wurtsboro?
No.
Okay, so that if you want some really, really good vegan food, you got to go to the Red Dot in Wurtsboro. Going there for their lentil soup is worth the trip in and of itself, and it just gets better after the soup. The other vegan place that I highly recommend is in Pine Bush. It's called Pure City. So when you're ever like hiking Sam's Point, the ice caves, and you come down Route 52 and you're going to go through Pine Bush, you need to stop in Pure City because their food is also exceptional, total vegan.
Interesting.
Stosh, you have any vegan recommendations for us?
No. Sorry.
All right. Well,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lisa. I disappointed you again. It's horrible. So, once again, thank you, Lisa, for joining us on the show. Really appreciate having a listener spotlight. Really appreciate you two listening to the show still on. We're at 199 episodes in. I appreciate it. And once again, anybody who's still listening to the show, still sponsoring, supporting the show, greatly appreciate it. Lisa joins us episode 199. I hope you had a good time, Lisa. This is once again, we love hearing from the listeners and stuff like that, getting their feel of the vibes of Catskills and stuff like that. It just feels real. It feels more real instead of just a professional freaking lame ass podcast. We get these real people on here. So I love it. So thank you for joining us, Lisa.
Oh, I appreciate having me. Thank you so much.
thanks, Lisa. And I'll see if I can't get you some stickers. I think I have one or two lying around.
I looked it up. I didn't get an address from you, Lisa.
Okay, I'll have to send that along.
Right now, send it right now. Look at your phone. Send it right now.
That's such a lame excuse. I didn't get an address.
And if anybody's listening, send me an address and I will send that to you right now.
So what is it? 1460 Pennsylvania Avenue, something like that. Start sending all the stickers to the White House.
Correct. All right. So Lisa, have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.
Hi, everyone. I just want to thank you for listening to the show. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe and throw down a smooth review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any podcast platform that you use. You can also check daily updates of the podcast, hikes, hiking news, and local news on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the official website of the show. Remember this, you gotta just keep on living in the Catskills, man. Livin.
Wicked, 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 wicked.